one and all, it's time for your freedom's firewall, the bane of spoon-fed ready minds everywhere, fighting the human derangement syndrome at each and every turn. It's Brian, I'm in, and very glad you joined us for today's ride. So what do you say? Let's get ready to mortal up. Welcome, 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 and if you've been along for the ride, you know I call this the labyrinth of life, where your back is home when it's up against the wall, where your cognition thrives on being cornered, and you suddenly realize, wow, that's just like a light bulb going off, that rock bottom is the perfect time and place to ricochet and rebound. You were born for the backlash, the bumpy ride, and the brawl. That it's an uphill battle, well, that's the meaning of being alive. We're either climbing or sliding. That's the gig, and it's a beautiful one. Now, if you and I thought we were dropped here as anything other than the underdog, let's be honest, we've been delusional since our very first day. So welcome to the Garden of the Mortals. Now that you are here, why let the light in your eyes go dark before it's time? This instant, right here, this is your invitation to rise and shine. And only dimwits fear the inevitable. And that's not you. Death comes for us all. And as uncertain as its timing is, you and I have to admit we have an expiration date, a shelf life, where damn near everything outlives us. That said, you had no say in the scripting of the story of your birth. But how that saga ends, you are its only author. So born to fly, let's not fold our wings. Let's not pack it in prematurely. I know, misery loves company. I get that, I really do. But how much longer will you and I dovetail? Will you and I buy into the ramblings of the static quo, especially if it's ultimately choking us out? You were born a rock star, and it's time to roll out your red carpet. Now you'll have to ignore the slurs of others. We don't have to indulge in their idiocy. That we're perceptive doesn't mean we're susceptible to their drool. So let's look up, let's stand up, let's bring your own bold, and let's mortal up. You know why? For no other reason, because I think you deserve it. And again, thank you for joining us. We're fired to be hanging out in our new time slot, which is going to be 9. There's all kinds of things that we'll be getting into, probably on Monday. Wayne, and I want to thank Wayne right off the bat, but I also want to say that given some of the run of show things that we'll be doing on Monday, we're going to be going over the new website. Wayne's been putting all kinds of hours. All the team here at Brian Brawdy and Associates been putting all kinds of hours. And we thank you for all the input, all the tweets and the Facebooks and the texts and everything else to tell us exactly what it is that you think, what it would be the best way to remind you of who you ultimately are, because that's what the show's going to be all about. So we're going to what's called now, you remember this, if you've been following me all these years, you remember the 20-minute victory. Now, that 20-minute victory is simply set up like this. Imagine you have an apple. No, forget apple. A blueberry. I love blueberry. Imagine you have a blueberry pie. And that pie, the circle of the pie represents 24 hours. Now, if you cut little 20-minute chunks, let's say, into that blueberry pie, 1/72nd of that pie is a 20-minute chunk. So when you look at 24 hours, 1/72nd of your day is a 20-minute victory. So here's the reason, other than the fact that we don't want to be clogging up the internet, right? Everybody and their brother, now that you're working from home and the kids are home, this might be your first chance to get any actual internet speed when it's just you a little bit later in the evenings. So what we want to do is we're going to limit the Brian Brawdy Show to the 20-minute victory so that we're being respectful not only of people's time, but now, and I never thought we'd have to say this, being respectful of their internet as well. So that's what we're going to be working on, the 20-minute victories. Of course, we'll still have Low Life's Making Headlines. We'll still have the Mortal Up segments, because those are the things that we're proudest of here at Brian Brawdy and Associates. We'll still have all those, and we'll spend a little bit of time, like, for example, the 20-minute victory. Why will we spend a little bit of time? Because it's just like coughing up a hairball, right? It's just like wiping off your feet on a welcome mat. It's like, you ever have those things at the end of the day where you just want to vent? You've been your head has been hijacked from time to time by some of these folks, and you need to clear your conscience, for the lack of a better term, right? You just need to cough it up, get rid of it. Probably not even supposed to be coughing now, but I'm in my own sound booth, so we got the social distancing thing handled down. You know, all the craziness now with the Wuhan virus, the COVID-19, China virus, whatever you want to talk, tomato, whatever it is, all the craziness about it now. I'm in my own little soundproof booth, so I can cough if I want. In any event, we want to take some of the lunacy and just get it off of our minds. And that's why we'll continue to do Low Life's Making Headlines as a segment within the 20-minute victory. And then we'll move right away into Mortal Up. Because it's my opinion that if we see examples of other people that have decided to mortal up, it makes it easier for you and I to do it. So we're going to highlight the very best. Now, you might be asking yourself, oh, that's kind of an interesting concept. How do you pick these people? Well, nice of you to ask. We pick them when you nominate them. So if you go to mortalup.com or you go to allnaturalbeing.com, BrianBrawdy.com, whatever it is, right? You get to the website, and you'll see in our new website, and again, thank you to Wayne for all the energy he's put into it. You'll see the new website. There'll be Low Life's Making Headlines banner. You click on that. There comes a form, a nomination form, and we'll never use your name. No one will ever know that you told it. We'll keep your name between you and I, but we'll absolutely run with the name of the Low Life's Making Headlines. And believe me, this segment writes itself. So yes, we are getting all kinds of people sending us information going, yeah, you know, it would be really great if it were this one or that one. But just in the news today, just in social media feeds, this stuff writes itself. I spend more time sending thank yous to some of the future winners or losers of the Low Life Making Headlines, however you want to look at it. I spend more time thanking. I send them a quick little tweet going, hey, you made this pre-show production easy. You won the Low Life's Making Headlines title, hands down. So thank you very much. And you can just imagine how well those tweets go over. But then the bulk of the show will be Mortal Up, and you get to Mortal Up and vote or submit a name, if you will, and then we'll throw it in the feed, and you can vote there as well. You get to submit the name of someone that you think best exemplifies unadulterated, unwatered down, if you will, human wherewithal. And we'll be able to highlight that throughout the remaining segment of the show. And of course, giving you a part of the 20-minute victory is also going to be some tips, some tricks, some techniques, some different things that you and I can do to kind of beat back some of the craziness, because especially of late, and this also will address a little bit of what we're doing on the website now. I tend to be enveloped in a few more debate. Let's say debate is such a nicer word, right? A debate over on Twitter. And it's because I've decided at this late stage of my life, right, and after the 5 brain surgeries of late, to go ahead and reduce the effects and the aftermath of a golf ball-sized brain tumor, I've decided to stand up to anyone that stands in the way of you, anyone that suggests that human wherewithal should be watered down. And it kind of goes across, it goes across the spectrum of folks, but there are all kinds of people that will want to say that you need someone else to tell you how to act, someone else to tell you how to be. Now, it might be the motivation industrial complex, could very well be, right? All the shelf help books. It could be the higher consciousness cartel, could very well be. Or it may be someone from a political party. You never can tell. But my position is that outside of the watering down of human wherewithal, if we can get you to remember, if we can remember who we were before we have forgotten who we are, then this is a pretty good gig. And I talk all the time about the labyrinth of life. Magnify the moment. I've been saying it for 30 years now. But the labyrinth of life, magnifying the moment, this, I think Eckhart Tolle would call it the now. This particular now in all of time. Not the fears of the past or the fantasies of the future, but this particular moment right here in all of time, which is why I said this is the perfect time to rise and shine. But this particular moment in all of time, in the labyrinth of life, is where you can command. And we talked a little bit earlier last week about the difference between being a particle and being a part of the wave. You can command your life by remembering, and some people say, well, you got to remember who you are. Absolutely. But where you are is just as important, because you're in the labyrinth of life. As you know, I call it the Garden of the Mortals. In here, you get to decide, right? And gratitude is the gateway to the field. Gratitude is the gateway. Great. Gratitude is, people say all the time, well, how long have you been meditating? And you tell them, you go, well, where did you learn your meditation? Oh, well, I was in a cave on Wudong Mountain in China, and I was blah, 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 right? But I've been studying it all this time. But can I distill it down for you? Something really simple. I have a meditation, 2-word mantra, if you will. Save it. I appreciate it. Don't send the money. Don't cut the flowers. Don't burn the incense.
can I give you, look, it might not work for you. Maybe it will. I hope it will. I think it will. But can I give you my 2-word mantra? All right? It's just thank you. It's cultivating a sense of gratitude to such a degree that as soon as I close my eyes now and start in the meditation, and I have my own, it's not just a great graphic, but I have my own 20-minute victories. Do one in the morning, one midday, and one in the evening. And the bulk of that 20-minute victory for me is just saying thank you. Gratitude without a target, but cultivating a sense of just being thrilled with the fact that you're right here in this particular moment in all of time. Not what you've done in the past, not what you hope, right? Not what you hope to do in the future. The poet Carl Sandburg said, hope is an echo. It bids you yonder, yonder, yonder. Well, I don't want you running from things in the past, and I don't want you running towards things in the future. But in this particular moment in all of time, for your 20-minute victory, if you focus simply on gratitude. Now, some people will say, oh, Brian, you mean, should we make a list of all the things we're thankful for? If you think that would work, absolutely. But in addition to that list, right, because we really want to get outside, because meditation is about getting just this side, if you will, of the analytical mind, right? So the key to it is, it's been my experience in all these years that I found that when you focus on the things that you're thankful for, it's a great start. But pretty soon the mind goes, oh, well, I'm thankful. Oh, well, maybe, or could I be, yeah, okay, well, this, right? This could be on the list. So the analytical mind does what analytical minds do, right? It wants to hijack. It wants to rush the cognitive cockpit. It wants to kick in the door and go, who was it? Who was when President Reagan, all those years ago, Alexander Haig, when he went to the press conference and goes, I'm in control until the vice president's plane lands, right? That's all analytical minds want to do. I'm in control, right? I get where he was coming from. The analytical mind was running roughshod. But when you want to step just this side of the analytical mind and you cultivate that sense, that feeling in your heart, in your head, in your bowels, I guess you would say. Just feel it in every part of you, that sense of gratitude. You'll notice that the analytical mind goes, I don't know what he's up to now, but man, he sure feels it. And an instant smile will come to your face. Now, there's all kinds of doom and gloom. There's all kinds of hysteria. There's all kinds of reasons, right? As I said to a good friend of mine today, look at all the mashugana in the world. And look, if I have to bring Yiddish, well, I will come packing with Yiddish, right? All the mashugana in the world. Great. But it's still the greatest time in the history of the world to be alive. So the 20-minute victories, morning, noon, and night, for me, and you're welcome to use it, is I say thank you without a target, right? So it's just thank you for the fact that I'm here in this particular moment in all of time, magnifying the moment. This is the sweet spot for the field, right? Not a cattle prod, not a carrot at the end of the stick. You're not running from something or running towards something, right? You're a human being, not a human getting. I'm always getting. I need more baubles. I need more trinkets. I need more whatnot, right? Not all the getting. Oh, I got to get away from the past. I got to escape the past. This is one of the things that always bugs me about the higher consciousness cartel. Everyone's saying, oh, well, you need higher consciousness. And my question to you is, what the hell's wrong with your current consciousness? Right? We just need to step back of it a little bit, step right back behind it. But your consciousness, those things that you're aware of, you're the captain or the captainess of your ship. You're King Arthur, right? Or Joan of Arc. It's up to you. You decide. So all these people going, well, you need a higher consciousness. No, I think Mortal Up is about being thrilled with the consciousness you already have. And what will you and I do? One of the quickest ways to buy into this sense of gratitude is to not binge think. Because binge thinking, right? Cognitive calories, if you will. Binge thinking, just like binge eating. Did I really need that thought? Oh, I don't know. Should I really sat down and eaten a sleeve of Oreos? Oreos, especially those double stuffed fudge, those double stuffed ones. They're just, in any event, right? Binge thinking is a lot like that. Where your analytical mind, because it's just trying to protect you, it knows what's coming. Right? It knows that you're going to find a better source for news, if you will, because you'll be listening to your own heart. You won't be listening to the analytical side of your head. So it's going to fight you at every turn, binge thinking, right? All the cognitive calories. So that's why at times I suggest don't necessarily, you can start with the list, start with a list of all the things you're thankful for. But then as you have that list, kind of get it out of your system. When you move into your 20-minute victory, it's just saying thank you and feeling it. Say it in your throat. Say it from your sternum. Say it from your navel. Say it from your kneecaps for all I care. Just saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And you'll watch the smile rise to your face. And that's a function of Mortal Up and why we talk all the time about the 20-minute victories. All right, we just have a few minutes left here. So here's a little bit of our run of show outside of this evening. What we'll be doing is, at least for a week or two, we'll probably stick with our 20-minute victories in the evenings, 9 o'clock Eastern, as you know, Monday through Friday. But you can come over to mortalup.com, allnaturalbeing.com, brianbrawdy.com. You can sign up for our blog and blurb, which is every morning I make these things fresh, right? And I hand deliver them, well, with the aid of a mouse, right? With the aid of a mouse, I hand deliver them to your inbox. It's the script that's written live that day, right? And the audio that I record here in the booth. That audio is recorded, so you may want to sit and read it while you're drinking a cup of coffee, if that's how you jumpstart your morning. Or you may go, nah, I'm just going to get out. Used to be, right? You could listen to these in your car on the way to work, but we're all under lockdown, so where are we going? Used to be you could listen to it. And I got to tell you, what are grocery stores doing now that right? What are some of these places doing if they're bringing everything out to you? Where's the impulse buy? That's got to be hurting you. Every 6 feet, you got to stand back 6 feet. You can't even get to where the Snickers are and the little the Hot Wheel cars, maybe some Mentos. Those are always good. Oh, you see the Globe. You see the different magazines and everything else. What are grocery stores doing to make up for the fact that you and I aren't sandwiched in line with all these impulse buys no longer at our fingertips? Well, it is what it is, right? So in any event, what I would do is say, sign up for the blog and blurb. One a day, that's all. Never sell your name, never sell your email information, and then you'll either get a chance to read. It takes about a minute, sometimes two. You either get a chance to read it or listen to it. But every single morning, the blog and blurb, those thoughts are all about empowering you to remember who you truly are outside, as I said, of all the head games, outside of all the craziness. All right, so in our final moment here, thank you all so very much. You know, for me, it's been a long journey, all this time now, and I think we're at episode 460 something, closing in before too long on episode 500. What we'll be doing, as I started to say, a week or two down the road, we'll be going to an hour-long show in the evenings, and then probably a couple hours, and depending upon everyone's schedule, everyone's thoughts, what they think would be the best way to go. Our goal is to go to a 3-hour show where we'll be, the video will be an eye on the wall, but we'll be broadcasting the radio signal as well. We'll be arming the chat room. You can hit us on Twitter and Facebook and all these other places. So I wanted to thank you for sticking around for the ride. And more importantly, as I close every blog and blurb each day that I write it, remember that everything you've ever needed, you've always had. And if you simply look up, stand up, bring your own bold and mortal up, then life has to meet you on your terms. I call it the Garden of the Mortals for a reason. All right, everybody, thank you so very much for joining me. We'll go ahead and get out of here. I'll look forward to seeing you back Monday night, 9 o'clock. If in the interim, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Thank you for all the cool thoughts and the like that we get every day through here. Please continue to keep those coming, and I'll see you back here Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Have an absolutely fantastic weekend. Be safe. Oh, yeah, and I know, right? Everyone's social distancing at home, and it's like, oh, man, I'm going to go out and start jumping around on the trampoline.